Hey everyone, welcome back to another painting tutorial. As always, my name is Jay, and today I'll be showing you a quick tutorial on how to paint this Cryo tank, a really cool MDF piece of terrain from Death Ray Designs. Link in the description below on where to purchase this particular piece of terrain. So it comes in a few pieces that I had to assemble. I used just super glue to assemble. There's the top piece, the Cryo tank chamber, the inside of the chamber, which is just the floor, and the floor itself, which as you can see is a part of a lid. It's actually just a jar that you screw in. But it's very cool. So I decided to keep these pieces separate for painting purposes. It definitely saves me a lot of time. So I primed of course, anything that's not the clear tank, with gray filler primer from Rust-Oleum. It just has a great, because it's a filler primer, it creates a little bit of a shell to it, and it's much easier to paint these MDF pieces over. I then took metal, a new primer color from Stynylrez, and I painted all of the exterior of these pieces. As you can see, so I painted the floor piece, the top, and all the outside of the bottom part with metal. Now, an intermediate step could have been if I wanted to pre-shade with a dark, either a dark, black or a black primer. That could have helped as well, create a little more shadowing. But in the end, because I'm doing such a heavy shading, I didn't really feel it was necessary. I then took black primer and just black Stynylrez primer and painted the inside of the jar, as you can see here. And that way it's dark on the inside and has the metallic on the outside. Once again, just to save myself some time and do a little bit of shading, and it'll just then when I put it all together, it'll be darker underneath the grates, and that's what I was going for. For all these, all this airbrushing was done with my Badger Pager 105. I stayed with a general use airbrush for all these things because of I don't want to use a fine detail for this. And then I took some non-oil and Draconite nightshade, about a 1-1 mix, put it in my Badger Pager 105, and I hit these pieces with a pretty heavy shading. I really wanted a cold, dark tint to my metallics. I like that, especially in combination with the Necrons, which have the glowing effect. I wanted some contrast with my terrain, so as you can see, I just hit it pretty heavily with a dark, it was a very, very dark blue shading. And as you see, it really does tint these things significantly, and that's why I didn't feel I needed that heavy of a pre-shading during the priming. But as you see, it really does tint it dark blue, and that's awesome. So I let it dry for a while, and then I just hit it with a very light dry brush of a couple metallics. This is going to be a pretty quick tutorial, as you can see, because I'm keeping it very basic, but just showing you some effects that you can do. And so yeah, as you see, I just did a light dry brush with Iron Breaker, frequently reloading my brush, and then I repeated this process afterwards with RUNE Paint Steel. But I repeated the dry brush over all of the metallic areas, once again, just to bring back some of the shine, but to keep a lot of the tint in the recesses, as well as just to build up a bit of a pattern. It creates that nice dusted effect on these pieces, and just, again, brings back some of the shine on the edges, and keeps the recesses nice and dark. As you see, it didn't take very long. The key is for this one, I just used a larger brush because it's such a large piece of terrain. And I, of course, used gloves throughout the entire process just so that I could get it all over my hands. But as you can see, just building a little bit of a shading, and I repeated this process with an even lighter shading of RUNE FANG Steel. Once again, just pick up on the very edges and bring it to life. And that's it. As I said, it's a pretty quick, easy tutorial. In the end, and then I put all the pieces together using super glue, and it turned out really nicely. I really love this piece of terrain. It's going to look awesome on the tabletop, and as you can see, I put a little Necron warrior in there, and you can put anybody you want in there, and it's really cool. So I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Link in the description below if you want to help support Death Ray Designs. This piece is from them. They make amazing MDF terrain, and go help support them. They definitely deserve it. Stay tuned for more painting tutorials. Until next time, this is Jay saying, happy painting, everyone.